the rain came down, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Yeah, so let's get into it. Remember, you guys can get this full interview on my YouTube channel, Coach Adepoju. Okay. So this guest is very special guest, one of the premier point guards to play in the BBL, national champion, former D1 athlete, a 5-year professional basketball player, Ashton Khan. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it, man. No problem. Thank you.
All right, anytime, anytime. So you went to one of the top prep schools in America in Brewster Academy, um,
Yep.
the likes of Donovan Mitchell, TJ Warren, Will Barton, Devontae Graham. Um,
Yes.
yeah. So with your time there, you won the national championship, the first
Yes.
in
Yep.
school's history. Okay.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Yeah. So what was it like being away from, home as in Canada and it paying it off in the national championship?
Yeah, it was tough. It was a tough adjustment, like moving to America for the first time around 17 years old. Anytime you're going to a different country, it's going to be a new experience, different surroundings, new environment. But the one thing that I had to lean on was basketball. The school was, you live on campus. It's almost like a university setup. So it was good. I just got to focus on basketball the whole time, which kind of kept my mind, right, my mind focused. And anytime things got hard, I can always lean on, you
Uh,
know, basketball that whole time. So it was a great experience for sure. I loved it there.
100%, 100%. I like that. Okay, then from prep school, you then transition to NC Division One. Um,
Yes.
uh, how was that? Describe the transition from high school basketball to college, and how did you prepare that summer as well?
I would say well, if you go back to my Canadian high school, it was a big difference between Canadian high school and first year university at Division One. But from my prep school, it wasn't huge difference. The prep school really, really, really helped prepare you for that jump.
Mm,
Because at university you're living on campus, you have classes, you have hard practices, early morning weight sessions, and it's the same thing at Brewster Academy. We were doing the exact same thing. The coach is really good at preparing us for the college level.
yeah,
And, even we had NBA players on my team. There was also NBA players on the other teams. So the competition every game was always, always good.
mm,
So it kind of prepared me to not be as culture shocked going to Division One.
mm. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And then you transferred to Tiffin University, and then you lead point guard. You lead the point guard sport and scoring. Describe your
Yes.
time there, and what was it like?
It was great, man. It was a great situation for me. I was the captain of the team, so I was the leader. I had a lot of freshmen and sophomore players under me that I could help, grow and lead. And yeah, just being the leader of the team and a role model of what it takes to try to reach a professional level,
Yeah,
not just in the basketball court, around the basketball court, but in the classroom, in the community, doing all the little things to show what it takes to be a true leader. And when I graduate, hoping that the guys can learn something and can
mm,
carry that on.
100%, 100%. I like that. And then you get your first professional contract for with the Wolves. How did it feel to get that first professional contract under your belt?
Yeah, no, it felt great. It felt great coming out of college. I was weighing out the options with my agent, and we just felt it was best to go to England as a good start for me.
Mm,
So we chose Worcester, as you know, and Worcester was a great experience for me. An amazing place, somewhere that I consider my second home. So
mm.
um, it always has a special place in my heart.
Oh, that's fantastic. And obviously, playing in the BBL. What's the biggest difference playing in the States and then comparing playing in England?
In the States, right, when you're in university, you do everything, as a team. You eat as a team, you just do everything as a team. When you get to that professional level, it's more of a job, so
Mm,
you might not see your teammates as much. There's a lot more on the line. It's a little more business and more serious. And now you're doing it as a job, and you want to do the
yeah.
best you can so you can continue playing at the professional level. Um, so there is a bit of a difference there. And then obviously in the competition, now you're playing against professionals. So everyone's practicing every day, everyone's training every day. Um, Whether they're on the Wolves where I started or they're on other teams in the
Mm,
BBL, everyone's training every day. So you got to make sure that you're always ready and always prepared to play in the games, to play in practice, because once you go from high school to university, the gap gets smaller of players that get to that level. And then
100%.
once you go from university to professional, it's even a smaller percentage of players that get to go to professional level. So when you're at the professional level, you're playing against people on your team or against other teams. Everyone was an all-star on their university team. So you're going against the best players from their universities. So now that competition gets a lot more tighter, a lot more difficult.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And as you said, like there's top players everywhere. Top players from from the area or even that country. So how do you find that edge per se? How do you obtain that?
To perform at a high level, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just you got to always stay on top of your game. You got to be able to, fight through the pains, the soreness. You got to be able to come in early before practice, stay after practice, be able to discipline yourself, eating the right things. All those things will give you a small advantage, eating the right meals before games so you have that proper fuel so you can perform at a high level. Even small things like being disciplined to stretch after a game. A lot of players might overlook stretching after a game, but that's something that's very important to do to keep your body, durable for a long season and playing many games during a season. So there's many different small things. I think when you get to the professional level, it's just doing the little things that keep you be able to sustain and play at a high level for the whole season.
100%. So after your first year, for the Worcester Wolves, you win the most exciting player award.
Yes.
That was fantastic. So what impacted you to come back?
Well, I had a great relationship with PJ, the head coach there. I love the fans that were there, so that really motivated me to come back. I felt like we had some unfinished business. We had a great team, so I felt like for my second professional season, I wanted to return and try to capture some titles and do it big for the community and for the supporters and just I had a great time there and I loved it there, so I wanted to come back for a second year.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then in your second year, your good friend of yours, Mo Walker, he joined you. So how was that playing with your childhood friend and how's that?
Yeah, that was amazing. Mo was somewhere else in Europe at the time. I think he was in Latvia, I want to say, and he was going to leave that team. And I just I was talking to him and I told him, hey, come over here. We have something good going, and I think you can fit in well. And it was amazing for him to join because we went to the same high school in Canada together and the same high school in America together. So for us to be together again in Worcester was like a surreal moment for us. And we really enjoyed that playing together. And like I know all the other fans and stuff, seeing that we had a good connection on the court.
Yeah.
So no, it was that was an amazing moment for us for sure.
Did you guys live together as well when he was there?
We didn't live together. I think he lived. I lived on Fern Road. And he lived, I can't remember where he lived, but yeah, it was Fern Road, man. I was on Fern Road.
That's great. So obviously you played in various places. You this past year you played in China as well.
Yep.
Can you just explain to us, to our younger audience, what it's like to play in countries like France, Portugal, UK, China? And did you have to adjust, like, on the court to coaches, and then what was it like to live off the court as well?
Yeah, playing in those countries where English is the second language is definitely there's an adjustment period. Where I remember the first day I came into practice in Portugal, the coach only spoke Spanish and I didn't understand a word he said. So and all he said to do was do high knees down and back. I didn't even know what he said, right? So it's just being able to adapt. My time in China, I was able to take Mandarin lessons and able to learn a lot of the language and be able to start understanding the Chinese language, being able to communicate in the Chinese language. It's definitely an opportunity to submerge yourself in a new culture, open your mind, grow as a person, and just submerge yourself and just accept where you are and try to be a part of that culture while you are. I think it's a blessing that you're there, right? So take advantage of those amazing moments. So for the young people, that might make those moves in their life, it's just be open, because it's going to be different from coming from the UK or me coming from Canada. especially like UK was a bit of an easier adjustment, you know,
Mm.
is a bit of a similar culture from Canada and UK. But if you're talking China, you're looking at a totally different culture, totally different outlook on life. They do things different. The food's different. You go outside, you might not be able to read certain signs. So you just got to be able to adapt, take your time, you know, enjoy
Mm.
the journey. You know what I'm saying? So it's just having that mindset will allow you to last in those type of places, and perform well on the court.
100%. I like that. One question we had from the Q&A on the story, they asked how important is mindset. So could you just give us a few you know, your insight into your mentality on the court and how important it is that for the way you play basketball?
Yeah, mindset is very, very important. You know, mindset has a part to do with confidence as well. Confidence is very important, man. Sometimes, you know, maybe your coach doesn't have the confidence in you, or your teammates might not have that much confidence in you. But if you have confidence in yourself, you can always try to play through that. Or if your coach has confidence in you, that will help you. So going into a game, you know, you got to have that mindset that, hey, I know I was working hard. I know I was training hard. My teammates believe in me. My coaches believe in me. I'm going to do well. And even if you miss a couple of shots, that's okay. You work on that shot, then you can keep shooting that shot. But the thing that comes with mindset is, in order to have a good mindset, you got to make sure that you're putting in the work before the game.
Mm.
So you can lean on, yeah, the preparation. So you can lean on what you've been doing outside of the game to, you know, perform inside the game. So you gotta be able to make sure that you're putting in the proper work. That way you can lean on a strong mindset going into the game. You can't expect to perform well if you're not going hard in practice, or you're not taking it serious, and then you think you're gonna go in the game and just dominate, you know?
Yeah, 100%. That's nice. That's nice. So, you know, what was it like playing in France and obviously in Portugal? Because you played in one of the top leagues in Europe. So, what experience
Yes.
was that like?
Portugal was good. Yeah, I played in the top league in Portugal. I have a really good relationship with the coach there. The fans were great. Um, it was good. I had some great teammates. So in Portugal, you're allowed to have four imports in total. So we had myself, two Americans, and one guy from France, actually. And no, it was a great experience. I was living on Terceira Island, which is one of the islands, and like in the middle of the water. So we always had to fly. We had to fly to the mainland for all our away games. So it was a lot of traveling.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, we would leave on a Thursday, to play a game on Friday, and then we potentially play another game on Sunday, then fly back on Monday. So it was a lot of traveling and tough road games. But you know, it was a great experience to see the country, to play with guys from other, you know, guys from Portugal, of course.
Yeah.
So I know I really enjoyed that experience. That was really a good stepping stone for my career as well.
All right, 100%. That's good. Just obviously
Yeah.
to experience different cultures and just
Yes.
different ways of life. So that's
Exactly. Yeah.
that's good. You know, so in one off season, you know, you played in DrakesOVO tournament, playing
Yep.
NBA competition. Um,
Yes.
so what was that like, and did you learn anything from that experience?
Yeah. No, that experience was amazing. You know, I've been playing on the OVO team for like 4 or 5 years now, and um, you know, being a member of Drake's team is always good, because when you're playing in those tournaments, you always get to play against NBA players. You know, they always invite NBA players. I've had NBA players on my team in the OVO. My cousin Corey Joseph was playing on my team.
Yeah,
Um, in the past, we were playing against other NBA players on other teams. So no, it was a great experience. I know it's always a confidence booster. You know you can do well. I think I had 28 one game and 35 another game. So it's like, okay,
but,
you get to see yourself at that level playing against guys that played in the NBA, had a lot of success in the NBA, and you get to see yourself at that level and go against those
mm,
players. Then it gives you confidence going into your professional season, so you can play with that edge and that confidence and say, hey, I was playing with NBA players this summer, and it gives you that confidence to play and perform when you get to your wherever you play
yeah,
in
you better
fall.
respect me. Yeah, yeah, because
Yeah. You have that
yeah,
edge to you, right?
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Um, you know, so now a little point guard segment. Okay, so
Yes.
so how did you develop your understanding or your feel for the pick and roll, and in terms of breaking down the defense, knowing when to drive to drive to the bucket, or whether to draw two and then kick it out to a shooter or
Right.
dump it off to a big guy.
Yeah, and that comes with just knowing how to read the game and learning the game and just experience. So one thing that helps learning how to use the pick and roll is in practice, you can practice different scenarios. Obviously, in a game, you have to just react to what the defense does. So in practice, for example, our coach in China would give the, and either the defense can sag off, which means I would take the shot, or two people would come to me, which means I would pass it, but I wouldn't know which one the defense would do. So just to read the game, if you're coming off the pick and roll, you want to be close to the guy that's sending the screen to you. You want to be close to him. My shoulder should be rubbing off of his shoulder. That way the defender can't get through, right? So now when you get into the paint, it's 5-on-5. If there's two people on you, that means one person's open. So it just comes with experience. It just comes with practice. You know, it's not something that can be learned overnight, but it's also like, how bad do you want to learn it? Are you going to stay after practice and ask the coach questions? Are you going to stay after practice and watch film? You know, and that's some of the luxuries that we have playing professional or even in the NCAA in America. We can go back and watch film. I know in NCAA Division I, they film practice. That's how detailed they are. So you go back and you watch the practice and you can see how you did in practice, because practice is how you're going to do in the game. And I was watching the Michael Jordan documentary, and he said that he said practice was harder than the game, you know, because he's working so hard. So the game come easy. So, you know, reading the pick and roll is yes, you want to practice it in practice, but you also want to watch game film, ask the coach questions, just try to be smart. You know, as a point guard, you don't want to play too fast paced. You know, you want to be able, you want to be able to play fast paced, but you want your eyes to see everything. Yeah, you want to control the pace and see the floor. So, right when you know that there's two people on you, you must know that someone's open. You might not have the pass to the open person, but you might be able to pass the ball to someone who can pass the ball to the open person, and it just has to be bang, bang, bang. You know, that chemistry has to be there.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, so that was my questions for the Adepoju Spotlight, and now we've got a few questions from the audience. So one person asked, how do you keep your jump shot consistent? I mean,
yes, that comes with a lot of repetition, because everyone has a different form. You know, some people have their elbow out, elbow in. You know, so it comes with a lot of repetition, a lot of hours. Sometimes not the coolest thing to do because no one sees you, right? You're just behind closed doors getting in extra shots. But that's the only way to perfect your jump shot, is putting in the hours and putting in the time. There's no real secret. There's nothing you can drink or eat to get your shot better. It's just putting in that time and effort, and really focusing on your mechanics and getting that feel for your own individual jump shot, on how it feels when it's going to go in. So there's obviously different drills you can do to control your jump shot, and to work on different aspects of your game, one dribble, pull up, step back, all that stuff. But that still comes with just being in the gym, and how disciplined you are to be in the gym, even when you're tired.
100%. Yeah, obviously everyone's different, so you know, you obviously get your form and just practice form shots and just keep practice repetition, and therefore build it up from there.
Right.
Yeah. So also, this person asked tips against finishing against bigger defenders, because you finished very well with both your left and your right. So you just detail and give us tips for the younger guys, how you finish with big defenders and taller defenders as well.
Yes. So for us short guys, because I'm not that tall, I'm only 6 feet. So you know, in practice, I know some of the fans and young kids know Merritt Klassen, who used to play for the Wolves. After every practice, we used to always work on our floaters. And what we used to do, because we're not too tall and some of the big men are really tall, we used to practice floating it over the white square on the backboard, getting it real high off the glass. Because if we wanted to go in there and just do a regular layup, now we might get our shot blocked, right? So as smaller players, you got to work on your floater, because you might not always get to the rim. You got to be able to stop and just float it. Or you got to be able to know how to finish high off the glass, kind of like Stephen Curry does, Kyrie Irving does, and just work work on your angles. So even if you're just on a 45-degree angle standing by the rim, you're taking one step and practicing your floater. You're getting the feel and the touch on what it feels like to finish high off the glass and get it over defenders. Now you can use things in practice. We used to use like sticks, hockey sticks, and we used to raise them in the air. We have to finish over the stick because that would simulate a big defender. There's different things you can do, but you gotta be able to finish high off the glass, and that again comes with repetition and practicing that. And you gotta always do it with both hands. You can't just do it with one hand. You gotta practice whatever you practice with your right hand. You gotta do it with your left hand, and vice versa. So you can be versatile.
100%, 100%. Many people might know, but real basketball players would know. But you touched on angles.
Yes.
Is that one of the things you look at for yourself to how to improve how to finish against bigger guys? And
yes.
Can you just give us insight on how you look at angles or different types of things on film to help you get better?
Yeah, as you start learning the game and getting more experience in the game, it's the small details that separate the good players from the great players. So just reading the defense feet, if their feet is 1 foot higher than the other, you can attack that foot, because naturally when you attack that foot, they have to step that foot back. Now, if you get them on your hip, you have them, right? You can just keep them on your hip and you can keep driving to the basket, right? So you got to recognize the different angles and the different reads in games. So it just comes down to just learning those small details that keep you one step ahead of the defense. You got to try to read the game before it happens.
Yeah.
While the ball's coming to you, like I remember when my cousin was playing for San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich, the head coach of the Spurs,
Yeah.
they have a rule there where it's called the 2-second rule. You're only allowed to have the ball for 2 seconds. Either you're going to shoot it, you're going to pass it, or you're going to dribble it.
Yeah.
Right? So as that ball's coming to you, you should already know what you're going to do with it. Okay, I'm going to take one dribble to the middle. I know the defender's going to step up. I'm going to kick it out, and the guy's going to shoot a three. Mm-hmm. But again, that comes with practicing with the team and having that chemistry. But you got to be able to just read that game. And that all comes with experience and continuing to play basketball, just continuing to want to ask questions, continuing to watch film, and you start to learn those things.
100%. 100%. Also, one person asked, because obviously you're right-handed, but
yes,
on tape, there's a lot of left-hand finishes, and even on
a lot. Yeah.
Even on the video that we posted, there's a lot of left-hand finishes. So, how do you develop your left hand? And just give us a small detail on that.
Yeah. When I was younger, I actually hurt my right hand one time, and I was a little discouraged because I felt like I wasn't going to be as effective in the game. And my brother just told me, "Why don't you use your left hand?" And I said, "How can I use my left hand? I'm right-handed." And I hurt my wrist. My right hand was hurt for like 3 months. So I constantly just worked on my left hand. And in games, I had no choice. I was like grade 7, I believe. I was like 12 or 13. I had no choice but to keep attacking the left side. And it started off awful. I was missing everything. Yeah. But the only way to the basket was using my left hand. And I got so comfortable with it, by the time my right hand was, felt better, I was already comfortable going left. And I just kept that in my repertoire because I figured it was effective. And then now it's like, I'm almost more comfortable going that way than the right, as you said, as you see in the film. Yeah. There's a lot of left.
No, that's great. That's fantastic. Obviously, the ability to go both ways just even makes you harder to guard as well. So that's why I want this younger audience to understand, like, do it one way, you have to do it another as well.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, so now over to the Q&A section. So we have one question here, kind of what I said, but what do you look for when watching film, either your own or other people? And then another part of that is top 5 favorite players.
Top 5. Okay, so what I look for when I'm watching film is I just look for some of the mistakes I make, and an aspect that I focus on is defense. Where can I improve on defense, especially off-ball defense? If I'm in the right position on the court, while my opponent doesn't even have the ball, I try to always work on my defense and make sure that I'm in the right spots on the court. Now for offense, I'm always looking like, where could I have made a better pass? Did I miss a teammate? If I missed a teammate that I know has a really good 3-point shot, did I miss him there? And I want to be able to get all my teammates involved and make them feel involved in the game. That's what we got to do as point guards, right? We got to keep our teammates happy.
Yeah.
And the other question was what, top 5 players in what, NBA or just like what?
Let's go overall. Overall.
Oh, just even retired players?
Yeah.
Okay, so top 5. Let me see. I'd go with Kobe,
Right.
Mamba.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to Kobe. LeBron, Kobe, LeBron. I like Klay Thompson. I just like how efficient Klay Thompson is. I know he's not like the top 5 player in the world, but he's just very efficient
Yeah.
with what he can do. So LeBron, Kobe. I like Kyrie just because he's entertaining to watch with his ball handling and finishing around the rim.
So.
And then I'll go. What was that? 4?
Yeah, 4. Kyrie, Bron, Kobe, and Clay. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go MJ. I'll just go with MJ.
Cool. MJ,
Yeah.
how are you enjoying the Last Darts documentary? Or what are you seeing before? Like,
Oh yeah. I'm enjoying it a lot. I watched the first. I watched 8 episodes. I'm enjoying it. You know, I didn't realize like because you know I grew up in the '90s, so I didn't really get to catch Jordan. I didn't realize that he lost so much before he won. So it just goes to show that you know losing is a part of the game and it's what builds you and it prepares you to win. You know, there hasn't been many people that just came into the NBA like Magic Johnson and won his first year. So. Yeah, I'm enjoying watching that, and it's inspirational, and it's definitely inspiring, not just for basketball, but for wherever you put your mind to outside of the court, and you know whether it's business or your workplace or whatever. It's just a mentality, right? You bring that hunger, that passion, and that mentality to any type of work that you do, whether it's basketball, could be a different sport, any job. You're gonna have some type of success, right? So
yeah.
it's good to see that inside of Michael Jordan's life and what he actually experienced because you know we never got to see that.
That's good. That's great. And obviously this past year, Toronto Raptors, they won the NBA championship. I know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
happy about that, ecstatic about that.
yeah.
So describe what it's like because Canadian basketball is growing. It's growing
Yes.
growing a lot, and obviously you have RJ just got drafted,
Yes.
number 3 pick. So can you just speak about, you know, how happy you are that Canadian basketball is finally growing and you know getting that recognition?
Yes. Yeah, you know, it was we always had the talent, you know. It's just we didn't have the opportunities to get seen, you know. So it's always good to get recognized and to see players now making the NBA. A lot of guys signing Division One. Like you said, the Raptors winning the NBA championship. Because like we're known more as a country for hockey. So
Yeah.
right, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really good to see that now, and a lot of young guys are doing big things. You know, they're going to Kentucky, they're going to big universities, they're getting drafted. So you know, the city's very happy. I feel like if we don't win another championship in 10 years, we're still happy. You know, because we got that ring.
Yeah.
So no, it's very good to see. It's very good to see Canada basketball like get some recognition and just get the young people getting opportunities to be seen now and get those opportunities to go down south into the States and go and do big things.
I remember, it's funny you said that. I remember watching like Corey Joseph's, your cousin,
Yeah.
dropping buckets in one international game. I was like, yo, like a lot of people don't understand. Like, yeah, there's different levels in the world of competition, but like even like you know people who come off the bench are still legit professional basketball players who can do that in most top leagues in the world. So it just goes to show that you know Canadian basketball is really on the map and it's really you know improving as well.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. So I've got one quick question. So quick hitters, favorite matchup. That could be anywhere, but yeah, your favorite matchup.
My favorite matchup that I played against John Wall one time, USA versus Team Canada. That was one of my favorite matchups to go against someone because I'm a guy that uses my speed and so is he. So that was a nice matchup. We were like 18 years old or something like that, but that was a nice matchup. Team USA versus Canada under 18s.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Favorite country to play in? Someone just asked that.
Favorite what?
Favorite country to play in? Favorite place to play
Oh,
in?
my favorite team to play on was Worcester for sure. That's why I was there the longest. It was the best experience to me for sure.
I like that. I like that. And then obviously I got one quick question. Top top three moments in your career so far, anyway.
Okay. I would say we won a cup. We won a cup in China. That was big. We won the national championship, like you said, for my Brewster Prep School #1. And I would say my first year playing professionally.
Okay.
Just my first year playing pro was at Worcester. That was a big moment for me when I stepped off the plane, knowing that okay, I'm able to play professional basketball. It's my first year. That's always going to be special because it was my first time.
100%. Yeah, and you obviously throughout this interview and this Q&A, you've touched on like your preparation. Like, can you just give us a behind the scenes of, how hard you prepare and how hard and how important you take practice. And even in time in this lockdown, I still see you on your story, putting in your work. And then
Got to, got to.
and some professional may not even be doing that. So can you just give us details on that?
Yeah, it's just the preparation is just, eating right before a game, taking care of your body, stretching before a game, getting in the ice bath after a game, and practice. If you have a morning practice, getting the proper rest so you can perform and go hard in morning practice. Whether in the weight room, not cheating the repetitions, doing all the little things that sometimes is annoying to do or you feel lazy to do, or maybe no one's watching, you can skip. That's where you can really separate yourself. Kobe always said the only reason why he was able to separate himself because he just worked harder. He started his day at 4 or 5 a.m. So by the time someone did their first workout, he was already on his second workout, going to his third workout. So he just put in more hours per day. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%. Could you just give us a little insight of how to become an efficient ball handler as well on the court?
All right. Ball handling is a lot of repetition and practice. Being able to not be scared to take risks in games. Making mistakes in games is a part of the process, and it's a part of learning. So not being afraid to try to go behind the back, try to put it through your legs, working on those skills during the game. Because it's good to work on them in practice, but it means nothing if you don't try it in the game. So everything that any of us do as basketball players in practice, we need to try it in the game, or else there's no point of doing it in practice. So having the courage to try those things in games. If you're working on splitting screens in practice, the moment there's an opportunity, try to split the screen. If it goes off your foot, it's okay, because the next time you try it, I bet you that you're going to get it done. So it's just being able to apply those techniques in games, and that will continue to. Once you do that, you'll get comfortable doing it in games all the time.
100%, 100%. I like that. Another question that we have here. We've got one question up here. What keeps you motivated to not stop working hard? I said that wrong, but I hope you can forgive me for that.
What keeps you motivated to keep working hard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Well, it's just my passion. My passion to play the game, especially when you're at a professional level. If you stop working hard, you might not get another contract. So that's always motivating. But it's always like someone's always watching. People are always looking, and you want to be able to show someone that never seen you play before. You might not have the best game, but you want to show them what it takes to play at this level. And it's just if you really respect the game and appreciate the game, you're going to give it your all, because the game can give so much back to you. It's such a good learning tool.
100%, 100%. We also have one more question here. How old was you when you first started playing basketball?
How old was I? I was like 10 years old, around 10 years old.
Oh, okay, so you started very, very early, very early.
Yeah, I started early. Yep, started early. I did football first, and then I got into basketball.
Cool, that's cool. So obviously after all this lockdown is over, hopefully soon by God's grace. What do you think what's the next step for you in your career?
I'm not sure, because I have some options that I'm looking at to do, but for next year I'm open to any options. I seen someone ask what's my plans for next season. Yeah, I'm even open to returning to Worcester, man. So you never know. You guys might see me back in Worcester. I might go back to China. It's just because of the pandemic, it's a little bit of an uncertain time, but I'm open to return to the UK or to China. Those are probably the options right now that I'm looking at.
That's fantastic. We have one other question. Any players to watch? Not in the NBA for guards.
For guards, not in the NBA. There's some players named Mike James, Darius Adams. You could probably see, look them up. They play in the Euro League. One plays in CBA in China.
Okay.
I was able to see him play out there. I played against him in a practice game. And Mike James is a Euro League guy who's a really good player. So those are some guys you can watch outside the NBA. Look at the Euro League. There's some tough players out there.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I just wanted a little to end off the session. Could you come to sorry a second. Hi Cassidy. So can you touch on you know your I would say me personally I wouldn't say it's a religion, but obviously you're a Christian, and you know you hold that dearly to yourself. Can you just speak about
Definitely.
how that impacts you on the way that you play, and just that does that contribute to your mindset? Can you just give us a few details on that?
Yeah, well, with my faith, believing in Jesus and following him, I just, I leave it all to him. So I never get when you have that perspective and that relationship with God, you don't get down on yourself, even though you might not have a good game, you might not get the contract you want or the job you want. With that faith, okay, this means God has something else for me, or I know God is with me. And, people can always let you down. A mother, a father, a brother, friends can always let you down, but Jesus will always be there, and won't let you down. Not saying that people's parents will. I'm just saying, like, things can happen, but Jesus is always there. And when knowing that and having that in my heart, it allows me to have a clear mind going into any situation. And when I'm playing basketball or I'm speaking to kids, I always have in my heart, in my mind, I hope they can, see the Christ within me, or I can impact them through the blessings that God gave me. Because it's not me that's doing it. It's the ability that God gave me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I personally feel. So having that mindset, it helps, to stay away from stress, to stay away from getting down on yourself, and always having someone to lean on it and depend on in the Lord. So that's always good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you for your time. Thank you for breaking that down.
No problem, man.
Appreciate you coming on the show, and thank you for your time as well. And I know it's late in Malaysia as well, so
Yeah,
thank you again.
yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate it.
Love, man, love. I'll speak to you soon as well, man. Thank you for coming on,
Okay, man. All
everyone.
right, you're welcome, Mo.
Ashton Khan, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, man. All right, see you later.
Love, bro. Stay safe.
Love, bro. All right, you too, bro.
Okay, so that was the third episode of Adepoju Spotlight. You can catch this full episode here on my YouTube channel. And thanks again, guys, for just joining our live stream as well. So I appreciate it. Stay safe as well.